The worst date I've ever been on actually started off as the best date I've ever been on. Boom. Me and this boy go out to eat. It's perfect. We had set it up the week before. He said, I'm gonna come pick you up. Great. Love that. Love a man with a car. Baby, I talk to bums. These bums don't have cars. So for you to have a car, you already get an A+ in my book. Boom. He picks me up and he already had the restaurant that he wanted to go to in mind. He didn't ask me anything, and that's just how I like it. Don't ask me shit. Just take me where you want to take me. He took me to this cutesy little spot on the Lower East Side. We lit. We get in there. We already have a reservation. He said reservation for 2 under Figueroa. Bet. Reservations too? That's crazy. We get sat. We get drinks, a little appetizer to share. We're talking, the conversation's good. He's really, really fucking funny. I love that. Bitch, this date just kept getting better and better. He's cute, he's funny, he seems like he got money. Keep that in mind though, he seems like he got money. Boom, he goes, would you like another drink? I'm like, hell yeah, I'm down for round 2. Our entrees haven't arrived yet. Let's go ahead and get a round 2 before they arrive. So we get a second round of drink. These drinks are so nice, bro. Like, I love a good drink with a nice little cup with a little garnish. I love that shit. I'm just a girl. And he's just the boy, but he's loving them shits too. We like knocking them shits back at this point. Now our entrees are here. We get a third drink. I'm feeling them. He's clearly feeling them because we just yapping away. He telling me about his life story. I'm telling him my life story. Then we get little boxes to put our leftover food to go. But then he was like, would you like dessert? And I am a dessert girly. Like, absolutely. Excuse me, sir, may I please have a dessert menu? I say to the waiter, baby, I get that dessert menu. That shit look good as fuck. I'm like, would you like to share one or do you want to get like your own? He was like, oh, we can share one. I'm like, bet. No problem with me. So we end up getting like this chocolate lava cake mousse thing. And then our server comes and sets the bill on the table. This is the part where like normally I would pull out my lip gloss and start applying it, right? As he picks up the check, starts pulling out his card or cash. I don't judge. As I'm sitting here about to pull out my lip gloss to reapply it, the check is still sitting in the center of the table. What's taking him so long? Why is he not picking it up? I'm applying my lip gloss, doing my thing. I finish, I put it back in my little baguette. Check is still there. So now I'm kind of just looking around. Some people don't like to pay right away. Some people like to stay and talk. So I'm like, he must just want to stay and talk. And you know, that's cool with me and everything. I don't care. We can stay and talk. But now it's been 15 minutes and we're still just like chatting, and the chat is getting smaller and smaller. Eventually I'm just like, are you ready to go? He was like, yeah, let me just go to the bathroom. I'm like, do you want to just put your card down so that while you're in the bathroom he could like take the payment, and then when you come back from the bathroom all you gotta do is just sign and we could leave? Or like, and he was like, my card? He was acting confused. Bitch, I was actually confused. Yes, your card. What do you mean my card? Your card? Hello? Unless you're using cash. Baby, this man said, oh baby, I thought this was on you. What the fuck made you think that? Now listen, I'm not a bougie bitch. I'll pay for dates. I actually love taking men out on dates, but this is our first date. And this is a date that you initiated. And this is a restaurant that you chose. And these are reservations that you made. You picked me up. You brought me here. Therefore, you have to pay. It's like obviously, like, I'm not gonna pay for this shit. What the fuck? He was like, yeah, you wanted me to take you on a date, so I took you here, but you gotta pay for it. Why the fuck would I have to pay for it? What? And my thing is too, right? If I'm on a date with someone and I know I'm not paying, I don't even look at the check. I don't give a fuck how much the check is because I'm not paying. So I don't need to know. The only way I'll look at a check is if I'm the one that's paying because I need to see how much I gotta pay. But if someone else is paying, I'm not looking in there. That's none of my fucking business. I don't care. He opened it. He said it's $160. Here you go. Take care of it while I go to the bathroom. I'll be right back. I took that shit. I closed it right back up and I said, absolutely the fuck not. You can take care of that shit right now. Then you can go to the bathroom. I'm not paying for this date. He was like, I'm not paying for the date either. This was something you wanted to do. I don't take bitches out on dates. Oh, you don't take bitches out on dates? Okay, bet. I pulled my phone out. He said, what are you doing? I'm like, oh, I'm just transferring some funds from my savings to my checking so I can go take care of this. But I have Apple Pay, so I have to go up to the front. He said, okay, do what you gotta do. The second date's on me. I said, okay, no problem. While you go to the bathroom, I'll go take care of the bill. Bitch, I was on my phone ordering my Uber. The fuck is you talking about? I said, yeah, go ahead, go to the bathroom. I'll take care of the bill while you're in there. I went up to the front. I said, thank you so much. Everything was excellent. I'm gonna step outside, but my date is gonna take care of the bill. Don't worry. He said he was gonna tip you 30%. Went outside. My Uber was almost there. Got in my shit and I left. Fuck is you talking about?
Okay. Alex Earl just posted about her bad date, and it's been 2 years since I went on this date, so I feel like I want to talk about it. Okay, so I knew this guy. I was 21 at the time when I went on the date. I'm gonna save his age till the end, actually. I previously knew him through some mutual friends, and I had moved closer to where he lives. So we had started texting, and he asked what was the first date? Hang on. He asked if I wanted to go to a Clemson game, and I'm like, okay, let's go to a Clemson game. That could be fun. This is not a one date thing, actually. This is multiple dates, and you just wait. We go to the Clemson game, and it's perfectly fine. Everything's great. But I did notice we'd be walking, and girls would be walking past us, and he would visibly be like this. Like watching them walk, and like looking at, like checking them out pretty much the whole time. So I like immediately was like, okay, that's super weird. But I was like, whatever, like, he's fun to hang out with and whatever. After that date, that was a weekend date, he was like, next weekend there's a Panthers game that we can go to. He was like, I have tickets, do you want to go? And I'm like, yeah, sure, that could be fun too. I had like just moved back to my hometown, so I was looking for kind of anything to do. This is where it gets really bad. So we go to the Panthers game. The Panthers game ended up being super boring, so I went to the bar after that. We're drinking, it's packed, we're standing on the patio. One of my guy friends that I know like walks up and he's like, hey, both of us, he knows both of us, so we're all just like sitting and talking. And this is where it gets a little like really bad. My friend was like, Gwen, you're pretty, go up to the bar and get us drinks, because it was so packed. He was like, go up to the bar, see if you can get us drinks. And then he, in a joking way, I know this is gonna piss a lot of people off, but in a joking way, he was like, unzip your top so you can get us drink. And I'm like, whatever, haha. And my date goes, she ain't got it like that. And my friend was like, we're all just standing there, and my friend's like, what? So he said that, and I already have a buzz, and I'm like, you know what, this actually is ass. I'm just going to keep drinking. So I'm sitting there, we're like talking, it's like fine again. I'm like, whatever, it's fine. So then these two extremely tall women walk up to us, but they only say hey to him at first, and I'm like standing right there, just like, so they're only talking to him, and finally he's like, this is Gwen, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, oh, hi, and then they look at him. We're gonna call him Hunter. They look at Hunter, and they're like, we're gonna call this girl Chelsea. And they're like, Chelsea would be interested to know that you're here, and then walked away. And I was like, what? I'm like, who is Chelsea? Obviously, I'm like, who is Chelsea? And he's like, oh, it's a girl I used to talk to. Those are just her friends. They're annoying. These girls are the same age as him, by the way. I'm gonna tell you the age, I promise. I'm like, okay, that was really weird. Then, immediately after that, he pulls up my Instagram, pulls up a picture of me from 2 years before then, zooms in on a bikini picture of me and goes, I wish you still looked like this. At this point, I'm like, there's no way you're a real person. I'm like, whatever, let's just keep on trucking. So we go to the next bar. Guess who's at the next bar? Chelsea! Yay! Chelsea's there. So we're sitting at the bar. I can feel her and her friends like staring at me, and I'm like, oh my god, I don't know what to do. I don't know if he's dating this girl currently, like clearly not, because if that was actually his girlfriend, she would be over here like causing a fit, you know, whatever. So I'm like, clearly they're not actually dating, and he's telling the truth that they used to talk, but like this is crazy. So she's like staring a hole through my head, and I'm sitting at the bar, and I finally look over and I just wave, because I'm like, I don't like, hello. Then one of her friends comes up to us and is like, do you think this is okay, bringing this girl around Chelsea? I'm like, what? Next time I look over, Chelsea's crying. She's crying. Chelsea's crying. And at first I felt bad, and then I was like, okay, I have to spill the age. 28-year-old men and women. I'm 21 at the time, by the way. So I'm like, you know what? Let's leave. So we leave, and we're walking down the street. My friend looks at Hunter and goes, Chelsea doesn't even look that good, Hunter. Like, why are you entertaining this? Hunter proceeds to look at my friend and say, well, she felt good. And then he did a front flip into a bush on the side of the road. There's a video, but I won't show that. And then I left and then never spoke to him again. Actually, that's a lie. He texted me asking like what was wrong, and I explained literally everything he did, and he was like, what? Yep. Okay, sorry, I had to change. So pretty much, no hate to the Chelsea girl. No hate at all. Just a really bad date. So that's all.
I just canceled a date with a man like 15 minutes before I was supposed to be on the date. And you can tell me if you think I was wrong for this. So some context. I live on the beach, and by my house there's like a boardwalk type of situation. I was walking my dog on the boardwalk. This other guy walking his dog. Our dogs say hi to each other. My dog is being a menace, as he does. He's jumping all over this guy's dog, but this guy's dog is huge, so it's kind of funny. We end up talking for like, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes. He's like a very good looking guy, very funny, very charismatic. End of this conversation, he asked for my number. I gave him my number. That was like 2 days ago. And then yesterday he texted me, asked if I wanted to get a drink tonight. I said, sure. He was like, can you do 5? I'm like, no, I have plans with my friend, but I could do like 6:30. He sent me 2 places. Like we were like chatting a little bit, planning this thing. So in the course of planning this date, which is we're going to drinks, I mentioned to him, I'm like, also FYI, like I don't really drink, but like I'm down to get a mocktail or like a little appetizer. And like, not that I think you're obligated to say anything if you don't drink, but I've had guys be so weird if they ask me on a drinks date and then I get a mocktail that it's just like almost not worth it to me to not say anything and have a guy be insane. So I say that, he's like, yeah, no problem, it'll be fun. He texts me like a half hour before a date and he's like, hey, just FYI, I'm running like 10 minutes late. I was walking the dog got like fixated on something and delayed me. Literally no problem. I text him back, I'm like, oh my gosh, been there, all good. See you soon. He responds, see you soon, excited to get you drunk on a school night. I reply, I'm like, haha, like I said, I don't drink. He says, we'll see about that, with a winky face. Already annoying, but I'm like, let me not jump to conclusions. He's probably just trying to be funny. And I said, I'm sure you're just joking, but really, I'm not gonna drink. And he says, like I said, I'll change your mind. To which I responded, I just want to make sure that this is a joke and we're doing a bit. And he said, I'm very convincing. Trust me, you'll have more fun if you have a drink. Immediately no. I said, if you're serious, I don't think we should go out anymore. Have a good night. And he said, okay, bet. Hello? Like, you're not going to convince me, a person who essentially doesn't drink. I drink maybe like 1 to 2 times a year and have half of a glass of wine, that I should go get drunk with you because you are convincing. Already pushing boundaries before we've been on the date is crazy. Diabolical. And I'm like, do I need to go on this date where this man is going to spend the next hour and a half trying to convince me to drink? Not really. Goodbye. But yeah, wild.
I'm pretty sure that my date just literally abandoned me because I'm over here already almost done with my dinner. And his dinner is sitting on the other side of the table and he's been gone for 30 fucking minutes. 30 minutes. Like, what are you doing? You said you were going to the bathroom. That bad? You better be in there, like, trying to unclog that fucking toilet. Because I know you did not just fucking abandon me here. What the hell? He's been gone so long that I ordered another drink. And the waitress was even like, do you want me to bring your food out? Like, I noticed he's not here. And I was like, yeah, girl, I'm hungry. I was like, I don't know where this man went. But I'm still eating. You know, I got money, I'll pay for it. You know, no worries over here. I'm just kind of like embarrassed because I'm like, did this man really just fucking ditch me like mid-date? Jesus. Am I that chopped? I mean, I went swimming today and I look kind of a hot mess, to be honest. I usually look a little bit more cleaned up, but like, honestly, I'll pay for our dinner. I don't care. I'm more annoyed that I took a spice cube before this shit. Like, it was already locked in. We were just going to dinner to make niceties. You know what I mean? Like, he was already going to get this panini flipped in reverse in the George Foreman grill on him. You know what I'm saying? Never in my life. Okay, now I'm getting like even more embarrassed talking about this.
My first ever Hinge date is a story for the book. Like, I think I'm top 10, like on a normal scale, top 10 worst first dates ever. Anyways, someone commented that they think I'm good at telling stories. That makes me happy. So, and my life is so eventful that I could give you guys a million of these and they're actually insane. And honestly, even I can't believe that they're. Anyways, first Hinge date ever. I'm out of a relationship, a very long relationship. I just was like, I need to get back on the dating. I was in this relationship when I was in high school, so I didn't like do the thing where you like illegally download Hinge when you're a minor and like prank people into being pedophiles. Like, that wasn't really my jam. Anyways, so I download Hinge for the first time at 20. Everyone's already been at this for 2 years. I haven't. I've been out the game. I don't know how the fuck this works. Anyways, I matched with this guy who I thought was super cute, and he's like, you want to go on a date? I'm like, yes, sounds great. He's supposed to pick me up at 8. It's 7:30. I'm getting ready. I'm really fucking nervous. I'm literally shitting my pants over this. And he texts me and he cancels. He's like, I have to pick my mom up from the airport. I'm like, that's a fucking lie, you stupid idiot liar. Anyways, I'm like, shit. I'm fucking full face of makeup, hair done. I'm looking good, outfits on. I was so nervous too for this date, and then it just doesn't happen. I'm like, I have to make good use of me serving face right now. So I go on Hinge and I'm like, who the fuck's gonna take me out? This guy, let's call him Teddy. We're gonna call him Teddy. This guy, Teddy, he matches with me and he's like, you're so pretty. I've never been on a date. I'm like, oh, thanks. This is so sweet. He's like, what are you doing right now? I'm like, this is perfect, Teddy. Teddy, this is awesome. Teddy, this is perfect. Teddy, pick me up right now. Here's my address. Who let me do that? Actually, ever who let me? No, if I could go back in time and take this all back, I would have never done any of that. Teddy pulls up. My stomach, I don't feel anxiety like that. I'm a musical theater major. I practically like do the most nerve-wracking thing every day for a living. Nothing really brings me anxiety anymore. I was shitting bricks. I walk outside. It's dark out. My roommate walks me out because he's like, I really don't want you to get kidnapped on your first date. I'm like, yeah, me too. So he looks at the guy and I'm like, bye. And I get in this guy's car. Oh my God, idiot, stupid girl. Anyways, I get in this guy's car. It is literally, it looks like a kidnapping truck. It's rusty. There's paint peeling on the outside. I get in the car. It smells like a construction worker car. Not that I know what that smells like, but that's like the vibe it was giving. I have no idea if that's correct. It smelled like old wood and rusty nails in there. I thought, I'm dying tonight. This is actually it for me. I'm not making it out. He's like, hi. I'm like, hi. Literally like, hey. Anyways, Teddy's like, what should we do? I don't know, Teddy. You said, what are you doing right now? I said, pick me up. You didn't have a plan. So he's like, let's go get coffee. It's 8 p.m., maybe 8:30 at this point. I'm like, sure, you know what? If that's your prerogative, an espresso at 8:30, like, let's do it. We go to the nearest coffee shop that's open at 8 p.m., which there was one literally down the block from me. I don't even know how. He parks the car. I kid you not. He parks the car. He gets out. Shorter than me. Don't get me wrong. I love a short king. I don't know if I can do 5'4". Sue me. Anyways, we get out of the car. I realize he's really, really short. I'm like, fuck. So we walk to this coffee shop. We parked about 3 blocks away from this coffee shop. He sees a bar nearby and he's like, we should go in. I'm like, I'm 20. I don't have a fake ID. I don't know how this is gonna go down. He walks in the bar. He doesn't say anything to me. He walks in the bar and I have a video of this. I have a video of me standing on the street going, he just left me on the side of the street to walk into a bar. Anyways, we get to the coffee shop. This guy's like trying to buy me coffee. I'm like, I don't want a coffee at 8 p.m. You go do your thing though. He gets an Americano. He obviously doesn't get Americanos often. He was just trying to get something sophisticated because he was like, this tastes like shit. And I was like, you order something that tastes like shit, it's gonna not taste good. Sorry if you're like an Americano fiend out. I don't mind an iced Americano, but hot Americano is just like battery acid in a cup. So we're sitting, we're talking. The conversation's boring, but I'm there for the plot. That finishes up. We get back to his car. If I'm being honest, I knew we were close to mine, but I didn't know where I was in retrospect. Because we like parked blocks and turns down. So I knew I was in walking distance of my apartment, but I didn't know how I was gonna get home. And I was just like, well, I hope this date goes well, and he drives me back. Anyways, we're sitting in his car, we're talking, the conversation's fine. I don't even want to repeat. He looks me dead in the tits and he goes, you have a perfect rack. That face you just made in reaction, that was my face too. I think I just looked at him like that, just like a lot of fear and just like, why the fuck did that come out of your mouth? Oh, but it doesn't stop there. He goes, I bet you are perfect too. Oh my God, someone save me. I don't want to be in the car with this guy anymore. You're 5'4". Who made you nipple king? Anyways, directly after that, no time for me to even think of a response. He goes, how much do you weigh, 80 pounds? Rhetorical question. He had the answer in his head. 80 pounds? Have you ever held 80 pounds in your hand? That is the size of a large toddler. An average toddler. Anyways, I didn't know what to say. He started touching me. I said, I just really want to go home. I would rather just go home. Please take me home. Eventually, he takes me home, thank God. And I get back and my roommate was like, how was it? I said, never let me go on a date ever again. Ever again in my life, I never want to go on a date. I never want to meet another man actually ever again in my life. Anyways, here's the text to prove it. Hope you're doing well, King, though. Yeah.
Story time on how I just went on the worst first date of my life ever. I'm still trying to wrap my head around it, honestly. So I went out with one of my coworkers yesterday. So I thought it was a safe bet. It's somebody who I've, built banter with. We've had a relationship. So it's like we was close. Her birthday is today. So I decided, let me just go ahead and actually take her on a date. Like I said, we've been flirting around the office, so it just made sense. All right, cool. So I invited her to the date. But I invited her on Wednesday. I say, hey, I want to take you out on Friday. So this is something we already had planned. She knew about it. Cool. Friday comes. I go into work. I'm expecting to see her. She's not there. She doesn't come to work that day. So I don't really overthink it, but I am thinking like, okay, if she's not coming to work, kind of like changes the plans a little bit. But again, I don't stress it. She calls me once the day is about to be over and she says, oh, are we still going out? Where do you want to meet? Asking me about the plans. Mind you, she already knew the plans, but cool. I have no problem with reiterating the plans. I say we're going to meet at such and such spot at 5:30. All right, cool. That's a mutual time for both of us because we work at the same job. I know what time she gets off from work. We're off at the same time, so it's easy for us to meet in this middle place at the same time. I get there at 5:30. Happy hour is going on. I'm waiting. She doesn't show up until 6 o'clock. Happy hour ends at 6. But mind you, because I see that she's late, I'm like, all right, let me go ahead and order things for the table. I order 2 red wines and I order some calamari. All right, cool. She doesn't get there until 6 o'clock. As soon as she gets there, she sits down. She's complaining about the drink that I ordered her. But mind you, this is happy hour, so it's kind of like you missed it. I was trying to like do you a favor and get you something, whatever. All right, so she's complaining about the drink that I got her. She said that the calamari tastes frozen. She's complaining to the server. Mind you, this is off the sit down. The server just so happens to be a Hispanic guy. He has people beside him. I'm so sorry this is a long story. It was such a long night, and I was so embarrassed. He has people beside him who specifically asked for him. So they're speaking in Spanish to each other. She complains to the bartender about him speaking in Spanish because we don't understand Spanish. The conversation was not meant for us. He was talking to somebody else. It was not meant for us. She turns to me and she says, it's probably a drug deal going on. All right, I feel like that kind of shifted the entire night for me because why would you just judge these people like that? The complaining about the food, the complaining about the Spanish speaking, then saying that he's a drug dealer. Okay, all right. Oh my gosh, it's so much to the story. So now we're drunk at this point. It's time to order food. So the guy brings us the menu. The girl doesn't eat. She said, I want what the people have beside us. All right, cool. That's what she says. I want what the people had beside us. That's what the man did. He put in the order. He bought the order out. She said, this doesn't look like what they had beside us. The steak isn't as big as their steak. I don't eat too much steak, but I feel like skirt steaks are all one size because that's what it is. Or they might be different, but you get what I'm saying? Like, it's not going to be identical. She complained. She told the man this is not what she wanted. They got into a back and forth argument. She called the manager over to the table. Now her and the manager are going at it. The server, like the bartender, is trying to talk to her. She said, don't talk to me. Now, mind you, this is a place that I go often. This is a place that I frequent because I enjoy this place. I go to the bar so much. So now it's like you're a reflection of me at this point. All right, so cool. She complained. The manager is like, I'll give you guys free drinks. He gave us free drinks and he gave us I think like a free dessert, a dessert that I didn't ask for. Like I didn't want it. Like this is on her. Like she's complaining at this point. All right, cool. So the night is over. The guy, the bartender who always talks to us is not talking to us at this, or who always talks to me is not talking to me at this point. So when I go to the bathroom, I have a moment with him and I apologize for her behavior, because I was embarrassed. I'm still so embarrassed. If you see this video, again, I'm still so embarrassed. I hated how she treated you. I hated how the night went. And it just makes it even worse because this is a person who I have to see every single day at work. I will never be taking her out on a date again. And I'm just going to end here. It was terrible. A bad experience.
Dating in Arizona is so whack. Story number 2, okay? I went on a date with this guy who had been repeatedly asking me out for months, and I kept saying no. But then one day I was like, you know what? I'm going to give you a chance. Anyways, he picks me up at my apartment. Never let a man pick you up
from your apartment or where you live on a first date. Horrible idea, okay? Prior to the date, I told him repeatedly that I don't drink. It's just a personal preference. And I told him, I don't care if you drink, obviously, but I'm not gonna drink. Fast forward. We get to the restaurant, we sit down, the waiter comes over, he asks us what we'd like to drink. And I said, I'll just have a water. And my date goes, bring her a glass of wine. And I was like, I don't want wine. I already told you I don't drink. And so I was like, no, I'm okay. And then my date was like, no, like bring her some samples. We'll see what she likes. Okay. I don't drink, right? So they bring me the wine samples and I'm like, I don't want anything. And then they're just staring at me, like him and the server are like buddy, like trying to get me to find a wine. So I'm like so uncomfortable. So I grab the little sample, take the most annoying little sip of it. And I'm like, okay, thanks for the sample. I don't want anything. He proceeds to order me a drink. And I look at him and I say, I'm not going to drink it. And he was like, that's fine. I just got it for you. And I was like, okay. Then he tries to offer me a sip of his drink. And I was like, I'm okay. Thank you. So that was my first red flag, okay? Because this man could not take no for an answer. Like, he just really wanted me to drink with him. And I was like, I don't want to. Okay, first red flag. Second red flag, he's ordering his food and he doesn't like vegetables. So he's like, I want to substitute this. And they're like, oh, sorry, we don't do substitutions because nice restaurants usually don't do substitutions. Whatever. So I was like, I'll eat it. Like, you can have my mashed potatoes and I'll eat your asparagus or whatever the frick it was. And so his food comes out. And there's vegetables on his plate and he freaks out and he's like, I didn't want these. I told you I didn't want these. And the server was like, and I explained to you we don't do substitutions. And then his steak was too rare for him. So I was like, do you want to switch steaks? I prefer my steak like medium rare, medium. His steak was like rare. And I was like, I don't care. I'll eat it. I was like, you can have my medium steak. Okay. So we switched steaks. He still doesn't like his steak. So he tells the server, I'm not paying for this. I don't want this. And the server's like, okay. So they take it off the check, okay? Second red flag, like just eat your freaking steak, okay? Anyways, next red flag is the tab was like $250 and the server took off his steak, okay? And this man pays for it. And when it comes back, he opens up that checkbook, opens up his wallet, takes out 3 crumpled up $1 bills and places it in there as the tip. And I was like, no way you just tipped $3 on a $250 tab. So then my date wants to go take a picture outside. So he asked the server assistant to come take a picture of us outside. And I was like, I don't really want to take a picture with you, but I was like, whatever. So I take it on my phone so that there's no documentation of it on anyone else's phone. And when I'm giving the server assistant my phone, I hand him $70 and I'm like, please go give this to our server. I am so sorry. Like, tell him I'm so sorry. This was so awkward and he did a really great job and he did not deserve that crumpled up $3 tip, you know? So that was the other red flag. And we get to my apartment and then he tries to kiss me and so I don't kiss him. And then he goes, do you want me to come up with you? And I was like, absolutely freaking not. I was like, good day, sir. You know? Horrible date.
I just walked out in the middle of a date with this guy and I'm literally outside the restaurant waiting for my Uber because not only was this man 30 minutes late to our date, but he was complaining about literally everything. Mind you, he told me to pick a restaurant, so I picked Outback because it's at a good price point. The food is good. We come to Outback and he's literally complaining that his drinks don't taste good. They don't have any alcohol in them. Okay. Now that I'm home, let me tell you what happened. He was 30 minutes late. I was sitting at the booth for 30 minutes by myself. Cool. So when he finally gets there, he doesn't like give me a reason or an excuse as to why he was late. He just sits down and says, how you doing? I'm like, I'm good. So we ordered drinks and I think the drinks are pretty good and strong. He's saying that there's no alcohol in his drinks. I'm like, are you an alcoholic by any chance? Because shit tastes like alcohol to me. So I guess he didn't like that little joke. Cool. Then when we ordered appetizers, he said it was cold. That shit was not cold to me. I don't know. It seemed like he was low-key trying to make up excuses to get shit taken out of the bill. Anyway, then we order our food and he's complaining the whole time that it's taking way too long. So I'm like, I mean, just give it a minute. Like, you see, like, there's people. We're not the only ones in the restaurant. So the food finally comes and he tells our server, this took way too long. Like, what was going on back there? The server's like, oh, we're sorry. You know what I'm saying? Like, we only have 2 cooks back there tonight. We had a lot of call outs. I'm like, oh, don't even worry about it. I'm a server too. I work at a restaurant. I know what it's like. You're good. Trust. He was like, no, actually, you're not good because I'm starving and I shouldn't wait this long for my food. I'm looking at him like, like disgusted. Like, you immediately turn me off. You're disgusting. So I asked our server to get me a to-go container, and I got my food to go, and I will be eating this at home while I watch American Dad. Thank you for the free meal. I will never go on a date with you ever again. Have a good night, and you're a fucking asshole.
I was told to make this video, so I'm going to share with you my hinge date from hell. And to be honest, at this point, I feel like I need to start making this a series because I really just be going through it. So first off the bat, I naturally think I'm in an episode of Love is Blind because the person that I matched with doesn't have that many pictures, but like the little bit that he did have, like you could just tell that those were old pictures. And so I asked for his Instagram and I saw that he had no post, but he had some tagged photos. And so I checked the tagged photos and I had to go, FBI shit and look up like his pictures, like his most recent one, and there was only one that like you could kind of see his side profile but like not really. And so I was really just going on a limb here.
I'm gonna sit up for this. So then we're talking and we're texting and the banter is good. He's like funny, sarcastic, like it's like right up my alley, right? And I'm like, you know what, even though I don't fully know what he looks like, I like his personality, so I agreed to go on a date. And he suggested we do dinner and karaoke. Now, I'm not saying I did the smartest thing, but I definitely gave him my address so that he could pick me up and so that we could go together. In my mind, I thought that was a good idea. Don't be like me. Don't be a dumb bitch. So then he picks me up, like the day, like we talked for about like a week and a half, and then we met up. And he picks me up, and the karaoke place that he picks is literally an hour away. But before we even get into that, my first impression of him, I was so nervous. I always am nervous when I'm going on a date with someone. So I literally only looked at him for like 5 seconds. And in those 5 seconds, I was like, oh, like he's cute. Like he's pretty cute, actually. And so I was like feeling good about it. We get in the car and I like really start to analyze his features. And I'm like, Immediately I think, you know what, I'm not like fully into how he looks, but it doesn't matter because I wanted to still like go on the date because I was interested in the in his personality. So keep that in mind. So we have an hour in this in the car ride, and I'm telling myself like, let's get to know each other kind of thing. And so we're asking each other questions, and he's asking a lot about my past and my past relationships or past really anything that I had going on with a guy. And so I am being fully transparent and telling him all my business basically, but like not OD, I'm keeping it general. Let's keep in mind that he's also sharing stuff about himself too, so it's not like I'm the only one. So whatever, we get to the place, and I already decided that like looks wise he's not like fully my type, but we get to the restaurant and we order, and y'all, so the way that the layout was set up, right, there's like TVs everywhere. So he's asking me a question about like my high school experience and whatever. So I'm telling him, and I see that he keeps looking back like constantly because he's looking at the TV, he's looking at the football game. And I'm one of those people like, you need to give your attention to me or I'm gonna feel the type of way. So I immediately was already feeling annoyed about it. So he's not paying attention to me, but he's not fully ignoring me either. Like he can still like jump into the conversation with me. And so I was just like, okay, whatever. And I am by no means funny. I am not like the funniest person ever, but whatever I said had him laughing so loud and so obnoxiously that the servers and the people around literally were stopping to stare at us and to ask if we're okay. Bitch, do you know how loud you need to be in order for the bartenders and the people at the bar to stop what they're doing to look at you? And I'm sitting here like this, like I'm like, and he is full on cackling. So after that, I immediately was like, nah, like he's really fucking weird. And keep in mind, I am also on my sobriety journey. I am fully sober and definitely feel like it's hard being sober in your 20s, but it's especially hard being sober in your 20s and dating. And so I had already told him that I was sober and that I wasn't planning on drinking, even though we were still doing karaoke. I wasn't planning on drinking. And he was like, well, if you're sober, then I'm sober. And I was like, you know what, that's actually pretty sweet because you don't have to do that, but you're showing like you're very considerate. We get to the restaurant while this man orders 2 beers. And I was just like, fine, whatever. But like in the back of my mind, I'm like, you just said he was gonna be sober, so now you lying. But again, it's whatever. So
we're still talking. He's still being fucking loud and laughing like a fucking maniac. And then he gets quiet and he's like in space and into his own thought. And I'm like, what are you thinking about? And he's like, you should drink. I'm like, what? I was like, why? Like, no, I'm okay. I was like, why? And he goes, I just think that you should drink. And I was just like, no thanks, I'm all right. Mind you, the minute he said that, I already like, ick, gross. Like, why would you even say that to me? Like, bitch, what if I had a fucking alcohol problem and you hear, you should drink? Like, no one asked you, okay? Genuinely, in that moment, I knew that he was not getting a second date. Now I'm just trying to push to the karaoke part, because now I made it through dinner. And now we were like, okay, let's do karaoke. And I was like praying that this date would go by faster, because it felt like I was in my own personal little hell. So we get to karaoke and this man, we're singing. At first I'm like, you know what, it's not so bad. Like, he's singing, I'm singing, and we're having a good time. It's whatever. But he orders 2 sojus for himself. And I was like, all right. Meanwhile, I'm fucking parched. I'm dehydrated. I want water. And like, before y'all say, oh, like you could have asked him or you could have told him, I feel like on a date, like, you should also be considerate of your partner and ask, hey, it's like, do you want something to drink? Water, fucking soda, Sprite, ginger ale, really anything. But he didn't do that. And so I was not going to be the one to like say, oh, I want a water or I want ginger ale. Like, I was thugging it out, bro. I was raw dogging it. My fucking throat was like, it was hurting. I was choking. So afterwards, we're singing, and out of nowhere, he's like, you should freestyle. And I'm like, I don't want to freestyle. Like, I don't know how to freestyle. I don't know how to rap, bitch. I'm not Nicki Minaj. And he goes, like, you should do it though. Like, you should try it. And I'm like, how about you do it? And then I will like follow your lead. Like, if I see you do it, maybe I can do it. Starts freestyling and he starts rapping. And this man starts rapping about my dating history, about my past. Like, straight up starts saying, Nikki's been heartbroken 3 times and she not over it. Yeah, she's not over it, but she's still bad though. Like, she a baddie though. And I'm like, sir, in what moment do you think that I told you about my past and my history, bitch, my fucking traumas, so that you could rap about it? Like, what? Like, y'all, I had never ever in my life had someone rap about the shit that I've been through. And so he finishes his rap, a 3-minute rap, bro. And he's like, all right, your turn. And I'm like, dude, I don't want to rap. I was like, I don't want to rap about your life, and I don't want to rap about anything that you told me. Literally just go silent. He puts on a song and I'm like, you're not gonna sing? And he's like, no. And you could just tell he got so sassy. What the fuck is up with this song? So I'm like, all right, so if you're not gonna sing, like, we're just gonna sit here in silence. And he's like, yup. And so we're literally sitting in silence in this karaoke booth, and we're just hearing the beat to this song that I don't even know. And in that moment, bitch, I genuinely was like, I miss my ex. I do. I really, in my mind, I was like, because as a shit of a man as he was, there's no way he would have had me sitting in this damn fucking karaoke booth in silence. I was appalled. And so I'm like, all right. And I don't know what to say. I don't even know what to do, bro. Like, I'm literally just sitting in silence because I cannot speak. Man goes, what time you trying to get home? I'm like, not too late. And so he was like, let's do one more song and then we can head out. And I'm like, sure. I'm like, give me an artist and I'll choose the song. So he gives me Nicki Minaj. I'm trying to type it in. And he's sitting with his arms back, you know, like this. And he's just like, Nikki, come into my arms. I was like, what? Like, I pretended I didn't hear. I was like, what? And he's like, come into my arms. Y'all, this shit is gonna need a part 2, but he goes, come into my arms. And I'm like, I'm not affectionate. Like, I had to lie. I didn't want to be in his arms. I don't know what the fuck he's trying to do, bro. All right, then I was like, we're gonna need part 2.
This is part 1 of the first date from hell, except it actually happened. For starters, your date is late by 20 minutes. You had to ask him if he needed more time because he left the gym 15 minutes before we agreed upon date time. Upon arrival, he has little to nothing to say about the effort you put in to look good for this date. Upon arrival, he has little to nothing to say, period. You walk in front of him the whole way into the restaurant, so you open the door, you talk to the host. You are taking him out at this point. And the host seats you guys, and you start chatting. And your waitress comes over and says, would you guys like anything to drink other than water? And you say, no, I'm good with water, thank you. And your date, he is staring at the menu as if there's only one brain cell and it's on dinner break. He's going... So he didn't answer the waitress, so you say, no, I think we're good. And as she's walking away, she's a good 5-10 feet away now. He whips around and says, do you need beer? Clutching your pearls, you are a little scared because your date has just ordered a beer as he's on a date with somebody who's 19, even though he's of age. I did know that going in, but I did not know he was going to order a beer. So, your date, he orders his beer. Doesn't say please or thank you to the waitress. You are mortified to even be in public with him. And within 3 minutes of sitting down, he checks his phone 3 times. Like, goes on his phone, not even just checks it. It really makes you feel cared for and attended to. Yeah. Forgot to mention, he flirted with the waitress right in front of me. He asked me, he said, do you know what you want? I said, yeah, do you? And he's like, yeah. So I ordered. And then he was like, the waitress was like, and for you? And he said, what's your favorite thing on the menu? Babes! You're on a date right now. A first one. Go to part 2. This is too long.
Wait, what'd you say again?
I'm saying that, like, are you coming home with me for a little bit, or are you going home? Because if not, I'm probably just going to end up splitting the check.
So I have to pay for my half if I'm not going home with you.
Yes, because it wouldn't seem fair to me to pay your bill and me not get anything out of it.
That's disgusting. Like, you actually treat women like this?
No, not all the time.
Let me see the check. I'll just cover it all since you want to be a big pussy. Oh, $58? You don't got $58 in your bank? That's fine. I'm gonna get my card. Hold on, I'm gonna set this one here. And yes, I recorded this whole conversation because I want people to see how shitty men are out here inviting people on dates and they aren't paying.
You know, that's not very respectful. And you're not going to be recording me.
No, don't worry about it. I'm not recording you. Don't worry about it. This is for my safety. I'm allowed to record for my safety. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay.
And look, there's people laughing at us because you're over here acting a fucking mess.
Actually, your hair's a mess.
Excuse me, I'm ready to go. Excuse me.
Christmas Day, I received a message request on this app, which I don't usually check, but why was I looking at my message requests on Christmas Day? It's quite sad, isn't it? Happened to see this message request. It said, I'm 6'6" and a lawyer from London. How can I apply to date you? Right, I'll put proof of this. Which I must admit intrigued me. It was like one of those anonymous accounts. And after assuming a couple of mulled wines, I decided to reply with exactly what I was thinking. So I said, highly doubt any of those things are true, but I could be wrong, couldn't I? Because I also thought this could be the old AI. You know what I mean? I was suspicious. As he continued to reply, it became more and more apparent that this person was a human being. Potentially not a 6'6" lawyer from London, but a human being. Then he asked my phone number. I said, no, but you can have my email. Which, obviously, I didn't think he would email me. Because it was a bit of a test. He did. He emailed me. We started emailing backwards and forwards. There were these lovely long emails that said things like, Dearest Rue, I thought of you today when... Blah, blah, blah. Like something out of a Richard Curtis film. Within this time, he'd emailed me pictures of himself. So, like, I knew who I was talking to vaguely. And I really enjoyed it. We need to be emailing more in this manner. That's not a message for any colleagues. I was loving doing it. Oh, very sweet and very nice. Obviously cave and give him my number and we return to regular modern day form of communication of texting. So then he asked me to go for a drink with him in London. I don't actually live in London, I just happen to be there. I thought, oh, I can't, can I? Meet for a drink with a man from TikTok? Surely not. Surely not. It's outrageous. So I met him in Brixton. I was curious and it'll be a funny story to tell. And even he said that. He was like, are you going to do a TikTok about this? And I went, no. I think now I've got a right to do a TikTok about this, whether he likes it or not, so stay tuned. So I'm waiting for him outside of this pub, right? And a bride and groom on their wedding day are having their wedding photos done, and I'm in the background, and our first hug, he arrives, and our first hug is in the background of this couple's wedding photos. And the first thing he says is, I know this is an intense thing to say, but if we get married, we need to invite those people to our wedding. And guys, he was a 6'6" lawyer from London. Couldn't believe my bloody eyes. I was like hugging his waist. Cock height. Well, no, not really. I mean, that would be quite convenient. Sorry. Anyway, he then hands me his card. He goes, I need the loo. Get anything you like. I'll have a Guinness, please. How trusting. I didn't know what to do. I had a lawyer's card in my hand. Then he had the most wonderful date that lasted 7 hours. Only had 3 drinks. Laughed and we talked and it was so nice. And I just felt so comfortable. And he was very confident. At one point, he like put my glass on his side of the table. So he was on like the booth side, like a woman. And he was like, I'd like you to come and sit around this side, please. Yes, sir. We have a wonderful time, right? He's having a lovely time too, and he keeps telling me he's having a lovely time. He's a bit like, I mean, they all claim they're Labradors nowadays, don't they? But I think he actually was quite Labradorish. We leave the pub, and he was like, this is the best date I've ever been on. I really like you. When can I see you again? In that moment, he books train to Bristol. Do I say where I live? Yeah, it's fine. Bristol to come and see me. When we were on the tube home, when I had to get off, he went, go out and leave the station and I'll order you an Uber, which I obviously refused. How lovely. The 2-week gap between date and train booked. We're speaking like every day. We're calling all the time. I'm tee-hee-heeing away. He's saying how excited he is. Which brings us to yesterday, which was the day of this magical weekend we were going to spend together. And I rushed back from work after telling all of my co-workers that I'm having a boy over. I don't do this often. Start getting my flat ready. I tidy. I fucking hoover. I prepare my flat. I prepare myself. He was texting me being like, I'm so excited to see you. I'm bringing you fruit because I've been unwell. Hey, you'll notice I'm in bed alone. Wouldn't it be crazy if he was next to me? He texts me at like 3 p.m. and says the trains are fucked at Paddington. And I think, oh, bless him. Bless him. He's all stuck at Paddington with fruit. He said because of the storm. The storm didn't happen in Bristol. It was a light breeze, as strong as a toddler coughing on you. It was fine, right? So I'm like, that's weird. I trust my instincts and check the oh, I'm running out of time. Check the Trainline app. And weird, I'm part 2 coming, sorry.
If someone's trying to intimidate you, all it means is you've already intimidated them. Someone who's on your level is going to easily resonate with you. The only reason someone would be triggered by you is because they feel inferior.
So let me tell you about this date I went on last Friday. It wasn't great. Wasn't great. Me and this guy went to a rooftop bar, and when we first met, I can tell that he was very nervous. And look, I get nervous before first dates too. I always do. But seeing how nervous he was actually made me really nervous. We go to the bar and it took us a while to be served by a bartender, and it was very awkward. The first few minutes were so awkward, and I'm trying to make conversation and small talk to fill in the silence, but it's falling flat. It's like I'm asking things, he's answering it, and then it's like silence. I'm like, okay, how's this gonna go? A lot of people have been asking, this is the bronzer stick that I use. It's the Luxe Unfiltered No. 8 Illuminating Beauty Balm. I use it as like an underpainting just to give me a glow underneath the rest of my makeup. What I can say is the highlight of this date for me was the space itself. This rooftop is stunning. The views of downtown Buffalo are so beautiful, and it was a really clear night. You could see all the way to Niagara Falls. I mean, it was a stunning night. So I really liked where we were for the date. And actually, I misspoke before. I thought he had been in Buffalo for like a month or 2, but actually he's only been here 2 weeks. And so that was actually his first time in downtown Buffalo at all. I'm like, what a great way to see it for the first time, you know? You know, I definitely channeled, ooh, that was too dark. I definitely channeled my most comforting self because I just wanted to make him feel more at ease because I could tell how nervous he was. I'm not gonna lie, guys, I was the one carrying the conversation the entire time. I would ask the majority of the questions, he would answer them, and he would not ask me follow-up questions. And it's so funny how on the date itself, I was actually having a good time. And I think it's just because I love people. I love meeting new people. I enjoyed talking about all the places around the US that he's lived. I loved talking about his career. So I can have a good conversation with like anyone. As long as you're not a mean person, I can enjoy a conversation with someone I just met. And actually, even mid-date, I texted my friends and I was like, I'm having a great time. And I look back on it now and I'm like, was I though? Like, I was bringing the vibe. And I have fun when I'm interacting with people. So was he the one contributing to me having a good time, or was it all me? I think it was all me. honestly. Which is just funny to think back on. But anyways, so we had, I think, 3 drinks at this place. And he did pay for all my drinks, which I appreciated. And after our 3rd drink, I was almost finished with it, and I was like, so what do you want to do after this? I said, a couple of my friends are out, we could go meet them if you want, or if you want to go to a different bar, I know a cool spot around the corner we could go to, or if you have a lot of work to do tomorrow or something, or have to be up early, we could always call it a night, you know, and I'll just go meet my friends. It's totally up to you. And he thinks about that for a long time. A long time. And I'm just sitting there, you know, waiting for him to answer. And ultimately he says, knowing myself socially, I don't think I am comfortable meeting all of your friends tonight, which is a funny way of saying it. Like, obviously not all of my friends are out. But anyways, so he says he didn't feel comfortable with that, but that he would go to another spot for 1 drink. Because he did have some work to do the next day. I was like, okay, that works. So we finish our drinks. We're walking to this other bar. And on that walk, he's telling me about how much he loves trivia and how he's really good at it. And so then I actually get a little bit excited because I'm like, oh, this is actually a perfect spot for us to go. Because this bar is known to have this bartender who's been working there forever. And he always asks people trivia questions when they're sitting at the bar. So I'm like, ooh, this could be fun, right? So we get there and I immediately say to the bartender, hey, this guy's really good at trivia. Don't go easy on him, you know? And like, here I am bringing this like energy and enthusiasm. And this guy is just like so subdued compared to me. But you know, okay, so the bartender is asking us some questions. He started off asking questions about like SpongeBob. And the guy I was with knew like all the answers to them. And so the guys next to us were like, did you write for SpongeBob? Like, and anyways, it's like, again, it just kind of felt like everyone around us was being fun and energetic. And this guy was just kind of like lukewarm. But anyways, so we're about halfway through our drink. And I'm at the point where I'm like, all right, the only way I'm going to see this guy for a second date is if I get some kind of inkling that he's interested in me as more than just friendliness, because the whole conversation had 0 flirting the entire date. 0 flirting, 0 compliments, 0 inclination that there's any kind of like more than friendliness between us. You know what I mean? And so I say to him, so what have you thought of the date? And then he says, I've had a really fun time with you. What'd you think of the date? And I was like, yeah, I've had a lot of fun too. I was like, I'm glad to hear you've had fun. That's great. But I noticed you didn't say anything about what you thought of me. I'm telling you guys, you know when someone gets so nervous that they're almost angry? That's what happens to this man. He like completely tenses up and looks mortified that I asked him this. And then he says completely deadpan and serious, I said I had a good time with you. Oh, so then I am like, oh, okay. At that point, I'm like, yeah, I'm not gonna see this man again. Because if you can't even answer a direct question about how you're feeling about me or the date, like if you can't engage in any sort of complimenting or flirting of any capacity, we're not compatible. You know, we're not. And so my mood completely changed after he answered like that. I'm not carrying this vibe anymore. I'm not carrying this conversation anymore. I've done that for a couple of hours now. I'm done with it. And I think he could tell that my mood changed, because then for the first time in the entire night, he starts asking me questions. Yeah, where was that the entire evening? So we both finished our drinks actually very fast after that. And I go outside. Oh, also, he was driving himself home, and I didn't like that either. I'm like, are you sure you're okay to drive? Like, we had like 4 drinks at that point in like 2 hours. He's like, oh yeah, I'm completely fine. I'm like, no, I judge that. You should not be driving if you've had that many drinks. But before I called my Uber, he's like, I can totally walk you wherever you're going next. And I was like, thank you so much, but it's too far to walk, I'm gonna Uber. And he's like, okay, I can wait with you while you get your Uber then. And I'm like, no, it's okay. I'm honestly just gonna chill here and then go meet my friends. And so then we say goodbye. He side hugs me. 35 years old, side hugging someone on a date. And then, yeah, and then he left. And the next day I actually went back on Bumble to unmatch with him, and he had already unmatched with me. So he obviously felt the vibe. Yeah, him and I are not compatible. No way. Because I'm totally open to dating someone who is quieter than me. I'm open to dating someone who is less social and extroverted than I am, but I'm not willing to date someone who is completely incapable of carrying reciprocal conversation. And I'm not dating someone who's incapable of answering direct questions that involve a little bit of vulnerability, like, what do you think of me? It's just not gonna work. But yeah, what are you gonna do? An update about the Turkish guy. We have been texting. The texting is like, just how's your day and stuff like that. He texted me in a flirting way, asking when he could see me again. And I think this was on Saturday when he asked that. And I said to him, I was like, well, you know, I'm free tonight, which was Saturday. And I was like, but I'm also free on Sunday too, if you want to meet. And then he says to me, I'm going to need more than 48 hours to see you again. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And that's when he says he has his routine where he's working, and the other half of the time he's going to the gym, meal prepping, and taking care of the dog. And he's like, I am willing to disrupt my schedule and routine for someone I'm comfortable around. I'm like, okay. I don't know. I'm just like, dude, figure it out. I honestly, I understand that people have their routines that they're very diligent about. And he's in great shape. So like, I do admire that. Like, good for you for having this routine with yourself. If you want to date someone, it's going to involve some flexibility. You know what I mean? Like, if you actually are spending half your time outside of work doing all those things for yourself, do you actually have time then to date someone? Because you're gonna need to move stuff around. So I didn't like that text from him, but what I did is I just responded with kindness. I was just like, yeah, you know, I respect that you have this routine you're very serious about, and I would never want to get in the way of that. I said, I just want our time together to be fun and not have you be stressed. And so I was like, so you can just let me know when you're available and want to meet again. And since then, so that was on Saturday, it's now Tuesday, we've been texting consistently. He initiates the majority of the texts. And it's just small talk about our days, like, how's your day? What are you up to? That sort of thing. And I'm not gonna lie, that kind of texting gets old to me very quick. I need a little bit more something going on in the text to feel engaged in it. This is my natural hair, by the way. Turned out really nice today. So there's that with him. I'm like, I know that it's not gonna be anything serious or long-term with him, but I wanna have some fun. Like, I wanna go out on dates. I don't know. I enjoyed my dates with him, and so I would like to see him again. It's hard to maintain momentum with this type of basic conversation and then long periods of time without seeing each other. You know what I mean? So we'll see about that.